What's up, chat? How's it going? Welcome back to the stream. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone is having a good one. Hope everyone had a great weekend and is ready to talk some 40k, because that's what we do here every Tuesday. It's Tactical Tuesday on 40k day. Yeah, we're going to talk about some Nova Open. Big weekend for 40k. Obviously, this weekend we had the Nova Open 400-player Super Major. Also had a couple other major level events go down, so if we have time, we'll talk about those. Otherwise, I'm about to leave. I'm about to just get out of here. I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm packing up, and I'm going home, because I'm going to go over to... Oh, that apparently activated my camera's hand motion, and it moved itself. Because I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to Florida for the Enter the Crucible GT. It's going to be starting on Friday. I'm going to leave just after this live stream. I'm going to be on my way over there. And that's what's going to be going on. So that there is an event up for that. If you are in the chat right now, at the end of this stream, you'll get redirected over to that one, and so you can give it a little please notify me button. Hopefully it'll be okay. I don't know. It seems like I think Pariah Nexus might be burning people out. It seems like just less people in general kind of interested in live streaming and competitive content and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It does seem like a trend over the last couple of weeks, and is a little unfortunate. I think that the format is definitely not very good. So I think people are kind of recognizing that. But unfortunately for the folks on the other end of the camera here, it is a little bit scary, but we'll see how it goes. AC/DC cultists need to get the Wraith treatment. Obscenely higher damage Wraiths that you can't even shoot because of Surge. I mean, they're just a different unit. It's a very different unit. They're high OC and low resilience. They die like instantly, basically. The 5-up, I mean the 5-up invul and 5-up feel not pain, but like if you're packing anti-infantry shooting, you will get rid of most of the unit very quickly. So they don't stick around as quickly as long as Wraiths do. And not regenerating, I think, is a big deal, obviously. And they're not just like constantly putting dudes back into the unit, which is huge. So I do think they're really good. They're for sure definitely too good. And they're a unit that clearly GW's had a problem with for a while, because every iteration of the 10th edition Codex has had a Cursed Cultist be broken so far. So I don't know what they're gonna do about them, but for sure it's a little sad that every variety of a Cursed Cultist is. Or every variety of Chaos Space Marine, has been a Cursed Cultist focused, which I don't know. It kind of robs the faction of a little bit of flexibility. It definitely makes sense, right? If there was a detachment for them to be in, it makes sense for it to be Chaos Cult. And if they're good in Chaos Cult, I have no problem. The issue is that they're also good everywhere else, and that's, I think, really where the problem rises. It's a I don't know. It's a bit of an odd comparison between them and Wraiths, I guess. Can I discuss why Pariah Nexus isn't good? Yeah, I mean, we talk about it, I think, basically every live stream. It's basically, the format is so scoring light outside of, like, secret missions and some really degenerate primaries. It's very difficult to score reliably on secondaries. And that is given a lot of power to factions that do literally nothing but kill you. So the factions that are like really strong right now, or the armies, I should say, like the army archetypes that are really strong right now, are just like a bunch of guns a lot of times. A lot of sort of very offensively oriented units that aren't necessarily very good at keeping up on score. So yeah, like Adeptus Sororitas is an army that typically scores fairly well, but the good Adeptus Sororitas lists right now are entirely offensive. You're taking, and they're good because their codex is really broken. But like they're taking a bunch of Paragon Warsuits, Castigators, Immolators, Dominion Squads, very little on utility. Despite the fact that the faction has insane utility. Thousand Suns is also incredibly good. They're taking just literally nothing but a trillion Rubric Marines and Magnus the Red and a bunch of characters. And then both of those factions can fairly reliably score secret missions. In some situations. Sisters have a tough time with it, but usually they'll kill you before that happens. Magnus the Red, Thousand Suns is incredibly strong on secret missions. They have good battle lines, so they're good for War of Attrition, and Magnus can command insert most of the time. So a lot of the time, the kind of goal in playing Prime Nexus is like not dying on not being outscored until you kill your opponent. So it's all about tabling. And the factions that rely very heavily on scoring and don't really do that much damage are like struggle massively. And I think that is compounded by some really heinous balancing. But I think that the balancing is in favor. Like an unbalanced army is typically too strong because of its damage output. It's very rare that an army becomes unbalanced because of its capacity to score. And so any format where it's very difficult to score, or where you have this like end of game scoring glut like we see in Prime Nexus sometimes, it really it pushes any imbalance even farther in favor of the factions that are strong. So, for example, like if you were playing Adeptus Sororitas, but you were playing against Leviathan Tyranids, for example, which is an army that could not kill its way out of a paper bag, you'd probably still win that game, but the Tyranid would fucking dominate you on secondary scoring at the very least, and probably do a lot on primary scoring. In Pariah Nexus, there's nothing. That Tyranid player is scoring a regular number of points and then being tabled, and then the sister player wins at the end game. And it just sucks, man. It feels so bad. Playing uphill is just a mess. Oh my god. Won't Moloch Mortals kill all the sisters in 2 turns? Yeah, Moloch Mortals are great at killing castigators. They're so good. What about a Knight Abominant? We ever get to play it other than if anything other than a proxy? If they bring back the psychic phase, you could. I'm gonna reset my camera here. I don't like that it tracks me. I don't know why it's doing that. There it goes. Yeah, I don't know. That knight was really good in 9th edition, but since they like the psychic rework is probably okay for little characters and stuff that are little one-off inclusions, but it doesn't really work for like a huge knight unless you make it really impactful. Like Magnus having an aura +1 to hit and wound and +2 movement, and the word that gives best damage output is probably okay as a psychic rework. But a Knight Abominant that doesn't really do anything besides cast spells, having one special ability is like, okay, you're just a normal knight at that point with bad melee profiles. Extra crit shoot the castigator, yeah, wound on 5s. Or rupture cannon. Yeah, you know what's really good against Adeptus Sororitas is a low volume, high impact weapon. That's what you need to kill a castigator, is a railgun. There's definitely no defense that Adeptus Sororitas have against a single attack that does a bunch of damage. Just roll all 6s. Just play railguns and roll nothing but devastating wounds. You can't do that as a Tran effects, unfortunately, but you know, maybe you'll be okay as a with a Tau railgun where all you do is roll devastating. Abominant is such an amazing model. I completely don't share the psychic change. Yeah, it's unfortunate because it's like this big heavy infantry sweeper, and like in a faction doesn't really need heavy infantry sweepers. Took 11 damage on a Nightbringer from Russia Cannon and RTT. Yeah, I mean that thing it's the casino gun, right? Like it could be amazing. It won't be, but it could. I did play a game on stream against Drukhari, and he every time he fired his cannon, he killed whatever he was shooting at. One hit would go through every time. You'd like, oh, I drop one on the wound roll, or I drop one on the saving throw. One would go through, and every time I rolled 11 damage. Inconsistent as hell. Do not expect to do that, but it felt very good at the time. That guy is all over the place. I gotta play more Tyranid effects. I always say that though, but I'm off Tyranids right now. They're miserable to play. The faction sucks. Run 3 Tyranid effects. I mean, I think Tyranid effects are good. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Tyrannofexes are good. I don't think they're good against sisters. That's the point. That's where they're bad. That's that's where they're at. Anyway, chat. Speaking of, we're talking about lists already. Should we jump into some lists? Not too much. Castigator moves 21 inches and shoot. I mean, yeah. To be fair, the Castigator itself probably isn't killing the Tyrannofex, but that's not the one that you have to be worried about. It's the Dominion squad is killing the Tyrannofex. It's not the Castigator. Played against Daemons. Got 4+ scammed. His keeper hit an 11 and turned 1. Yep. I did that to Doots. The other day on Thursday. I feel a little bad. I'll take the win against sisters, but that's what you got to do sometimes. Sometimes you have to put on your sister's hat. You have to like put on the white Danny DeVito wig and adorn yourself in fleur-de-lis and pretend you're an Adeptus Sororitas and automatically pass every single one of your invulnerable saves. Sometimes you just got to do that. And you have to roll like literally 70% 4-ups over the course of a game. That was insane. Cassie can avoid the Tyrannofex easily. Yeah, for sure. And like sisters will just kill it when they get to it, right? Like it's not that they need to. But, so yeah, sisters will just sweep everything else up in that army. That matchup, I don't know. I don't know what matchup is good into sisters right now. Like, I have a sneaking suspicion it's basically nothing. So, we'll find out, I guess. But maybe, chat, maybe it's Chaos Space Marines. Because look at all these Chaos Space Marines you got going on. Johnny Zoo over here, he's nailing it. Rocking some Chaos Space Marines at 7-1. And Derek Apshe with the win. I talked about Derek's list already. I'm not going to talk about it again. Over here from 40k Dirtbags. I talked about it on my video yesterday. Please go watch that one because no one else did. Makes me a little sad because the best armies in 40k videos are a pain in the ass to make. And that one, I don't know why it bombed. Maybe it's because I keep talking about Chaos Space Marines and how they keep winning, but it's funny because for the longest time, like the comment section was just filled with Chaos Space Marine players saying, "Oh, our faction never wins," but every week they have like multiple undefeateds. We also had some Renegade Raiders over here from Johnny Zoo. Speaking of Chaos Space Marines, kind of classic, kind of normal stuff, but this is like we're just talking about, chat. This is a bit of a problem. Although maybe if it's the only thing keeping the faction alive, maybe it's fine. And I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. It was a faction that was struggling, and it seems like people they finally brushed the dust off their dark communes and their accursed cultists and found a way. Life found a way, but we'll see. They have a Chaos Lord, triple dark communes. We do have Mark of the Hound on one of them, so his unit gets Scout. The accursed cultists themselves already have Scout, but the dark commune doesn't, so that's important for him. Cultist mob, a legionary squad, bikers. 3 Predator Destructors, 2 Vindicators, yeah. So it's kind of a standard loadout of the big vehicles there. It looks like the Legionaries are jumping in with the Chaos Lord, so he's going to get wound rerolls, targeting enemies on objectives, and they've got a Chaos Rhino to carry them around. It doesn't look like we have anything else in that Rhino, I don't believe. But we do have some bikers in here for some utility. They get the 12-inch move after fighting as well, which is huge, if they were eligible to fight. In the fight phase, they can move a big 12 because they're mounted unit. So you could use them for tactical secondary super duper well. They can like engage in all fronts and behind enemy lines immediately. You say it's Votann. It's not Votann, the Beat Sisters. Yeah, I mean AC/DC is uncounterable. That is a take, chat. Uncounterable. Wow. I beat it the other day. Maybe you should play. You gotta play Wolf Bots. We gotta beat it with Wolf Bots. Turns out if you pack like, what does that list have? Like 10 heavy flamers. That actually does the trick. That makes it fine. It would be nice, I guess. Like between these lists, these two Chaos Space Marine lists, I think that we are seeing maybe a little bit of a reversal on the on the kind of the super heavy armored meta, where everything was armored for a long time, and it seems like people are rocking some infantry now, which is nice. It's a little bit of a change of pace, and that might be part of it, is that I think, and I mean myself included, I think a lot of people just basically ditched all of their anti-infantry. Their infantry sweeping, we're not really taking like dedicated infantry answers a lot of times. You're basically, like the AP0 stuff has very low value in most cases.
Chaos Bikers can also randomly take multi-melters.
Can they? A multi-melta or a melta-gun? Because they do get a bunch of special weapons, which is kind of wild. I feel like I would have seen it if they were taking multi-meltas. They can take up to 2 melta guns. I guess 2 melta guns is kind of like 1 multi-melta, so that's sort of the same. Yeah, I mean, the Chaos Bikers have always been super duper good in terms of their output, right? They get a plasma pistol and potentially up to 2 plasma guns in the unit, so they're shooting like 5 2-damage shots with lethal hits probably, which is already good. Votann Shred Sisters. Problem is they have to go first. I guess so. I mean, going first is good against Sisters, right? You don't get Immolator like bricked. Which is, I think, just generally good. I think that's probably good for any faction. I don't know if that would be specific to Votann. Sisters are also so fast, specifically Bringers of the Flame, right? Sisters are so fast that it's very difficult to counter drop them. Because you can try to pre-measure their threat ranges, but they'll either get line of sight to you on turn 1 if you're playing a open format, if you're playing an open terrain layout, or they can position themselves to get line of sight to you turn 2. And if you're not able to screen that, then you're just going to get run over. We got a little World Eaters here. We can kind of stick with the Chaos theme for a little bit while we're talking about some Chaos Space Marines. Matthew Burgoon. He's burgooning all over us. Rocking Angron, Lord Invocatus, a Juggernaut Lord with Helm of Brazen Ire. So that's the 1 damage hat, or the half damage hat, I think it is now. It used to be reduced to 1 damage. Not Favorite of Khorne. We just got rid of that. Who needs it? Angron's going to come back naturally. I'm going to roll 3 6s. I don't need the reroll. Although the weird thing is, oftentimes is that when by the time Angron dies, it means that the Juggernaut Lord has either done nothing if he's carrying the Favorite of Khorne around. He's either done nothing up until that point, in which case you're spending like 100+ points of the character to get no value out of him, or he dies first, and then you don't get the Favorite of Khorne on the Angron regeneration roll anyway, and it doesn't matter. So I don't hate that. Be cool if you could take both, so he didn't die. But a lot of times, if you're like, well, Angron's dead, we have to get the Juggernaut Lord in, and then he explodes before you get a chance to regenerate Angron, and that gets a little bit awkward. We watched that happen on stream the other day, actually. The Jackal unit, 3 units of Exalted 8 bound, 1 unit of Standard 8 bound, 3 Chaos Spawn, 2 Forge Friends. Love that. We got some shooting. We got some pushing power. So midboard control, big unit of Exalted 8 bound for the early game scout into a charge, and then backing that up with Angron and the other melee stuff. Seems like a pretty well-rounded list. I don't know, pretty standard. Lots of utility as well with all the Chaos Spawn. Seems good. I love it. Why does the Outrider not come with a Power Fist and a special weapon? Yeah, that's a great question. Because it was in a starter set, chat. And they wanted to, I don't know. They felt it feels like a snap measure, a snap build kit almost. It's kind of what it feels like to me. Sisters Battle need to change to Miracle Dice more than point streaks. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. The Miracle Dice economy is too strong, for sure. It is too good, in my opinion. Unless they go really hard on points. Oh, yeah. Like, the problem with points, though, is that I think you get to the point where... First of all, there is a lot of stuff you could change with Sisters. I was just a little bit of a spoiler. I recorded earlier today a deep dive on Leman Russ. And it was dawning on me that a Leman Russ Exterminator is 20 points more than a Castigator, and its ability is strictly worse. So you pay like 25 points for the Leman Russ chassis, which I feel like is probably equivalent to having Miracle Dice and a bunch of mostly having Miracle Dice. I think like being extra toughness and higher save is probably equivalent to having an invuln save and auto 6s on all your dice all the time. Every single time you try to make a dice roll to 6. At worst. But instead you just pay 20 extra points for worse ballistic skill and also a worse version of their core ability. I was like, why is that the case? Why is the Castigator like this? It just confused me, man. I don't get it. That's like some stuff you could change for sure. There's a couple things in the Sisters faction I think definitely need to get changed. But you get to the point where you're playing this like T3 army that wants to sacrifice units to generate its Miracle Dice, and if all you do is hit them with points, then they like the core function doesn't really work, right? You could make it a balanced army, but if you make it a balanced army, but it's no fun or it's not fun or interesting because you can't really play the way that the faction's meant to be designed, then it's not that great. I do think that they probably have to change some core stuff. I think the Triumph of St. Catherine needs to change. I think Morvenval needs to change. I don't know why Morvenval gets both +1 to hit and wound and full rerolls. That's like, what? Why did we do this? Oh, I didn't turn my phone off, chat. What the fuck? Unknown numbers. Let's get that on Do Not Disturb. I apologize, everybody. Kind of saying we need a balance update more than points. Yeah, I don't disagree. We for sure need a balance update. Although Games Workshop hasn't been against, so kind of like twisting the rules a little bit, right? We got a couple of rules updates in previous points updates as well. I wish I had my Inky cam out right now, chat. I just got Inky this little automatic like laser toy, and she never likes toys. But she is all over this little thing. It like shines a laser around the room. It's like motion activated. So when she comes out and she likes like running around, then it shines a light on her, and she's fucking so into it. All right, we'll talk about some Thousand Suns. We'll rip the Band-Aid off some Thousand Suns real quick. This is another faction where I think that the sad part about Thousand Suns is that they've just become this like mono list, and it's really boring. Which is super sad because they're so cool and they have so many things. They've so many options, and all the options have just boiled down into cast Doom Bolts, cast Double Move, take a bunch of Infernal Masters, and call it a day. This one's taking 2 Exalted Disc Sorcerers and Ahriman. Foot Ahriman. Not even putting him on a disc anymore. Who needs it? Infernal Master with Arcane Vortex, an Umbralific Crystal, Infernal Master, Magnus, and a Sorcerer. Ooh, regular old Sorcerer with no upgrades. He's just chilling. That is good to let you kind of exist in line of sight for a while. That definitely helps a lot of times, especially with like how dominating a lot of the shooting is right now as well. We got 1, 2, 3 units of 5 Rubric Marines. So attaching the 2 Infernal Masters and the Sorcerer. 2 Mutal Vortex Beasts, double Cultist, triple Zangor Enlightened for scoring. Done. Easy. All right. Well, that's certainly a Thousand Suns list. That looks like a Thousand Suns list over here. You need full hit rerolls and +1 hit and rune because you get 3 extra attacks, so you have more chances to miss if you don't. Just think. What if you spent a Miracle Dice for extra attacks and you missed some of them? That would be unthinkable. Unthinkable. The faction would be ruined. Unplayable trash. Imagine missing an attack ever. Travis King over here. Here's your crown, Mr. King. Also rocking a little bit more of an interesting variety of Thousand Suns. It is a Foot Ahriman, Exalted Disc Sorcerer, Infernal Master with Arcane Vortex, Magnus the Red, Demon Prince, and Zangor Shaman. Do we have an attachment for the Shaman? No. He's just chilling. We have 1 Rubric Marine unit for the Infernal Master, almost assuredly, and then triple Vortex Beast, double Forge Fiend. plus 1 unit of Chaos Spawn. I think I've played this list. I think I had a Zangor Enlightened unit instead of the Shaman. I might not have had the Disc Sorcerer, and I had Cultists instead. But I think I've played almost exactly this list. This list is much more interesting. So yeah, it's what did people call it? Magical Chaos Knights? Is that what it is? So it's just like a bunch of big tanky idiots. You use the Demon Prince to give them stealth. He's got Lord of Forbidden Lore, and he's pretty tanky, especially with Destined by Fate and Weaver of Fate rerolls. So he can sort of hang out in the middle of the table and do his thing, and then project his stealth aura on all of the big vehicles. If you try to get into him, you're probably blanking damage. He's like Magnus. He's like Baby Magnus, basically. And that's just pulling. Any attempt to do that is just pulling focus off of the big vehicles, off the big monsters. But the big monsters are getting minus with a hit from that guy, so it's kind of a catch-22 which one you attack. And then the Thousand Suns would like nothing more than for you to commit into them, because then they get to do all of their Doom Bolts and stuff, and it's just fine. Inky looks into it, but in shoot reality, she's trying real hard to keep my house safe. Thank you, Inky. The scary red light is potential could damage everything. Has the amount of Infernal Masters in competitive list changed since the indirect nerf? I think a lot of people have gone down to 2 from 3, but that's been most of it. Some people cut 1, a lot of people kept the same, but like between 2 and 3, I think in standard lists is about normal. Although the lists we just looked at are a little bit light on Infernal Masters. I would say 2 ends up being about the average now versus 3 previously. Should we hop off of Chaos here, chats? There's no Chaos Demons in the top cut. Makes me sad. Not even a single one. How far the mighty have fallen. I saw a lot of people saying Chaos Demons were gonna like rip it up this season. They're like, but they have secret missions and stuff. Not that great, turns out, when you just get shot by a castigator. We do have some interesting factions, though. We'll certainly talk about Sam Pope over here with Tyranids, because I definitely want to do that. Matt Laura rocked Aeldari, which is kind of cool. Matt Laura is stealing my thunder with these, with this this list over here. I got a Patreon video coming out about an all Phoenix Lord list. He's got Asherman, Beherith, a Death Gesture with Fate's Messenger, fucking Chad over there, an Autark, or just a standard Autark, a regular ass Autark, chat, not even a Wayleaper. Flagon and Illic Nightspear. Illic jumping into a unit of 10 Rangers. This list is insane. What is happening right now? So Illic gives them Lone Operative, and it's like actual real Lone Operative where you can't shoot them within 12 inches, and they have a reactive move. So that unit gets to infiltrate the middle of the table, and if you move up to try to shoot them, they just run away. And then Phantasm away. So you can't even do it. You can't get them. It's like impossible. And then Illic gives them wound rerolls as well. So they're all firing 2 damage precision shots with essentially almost full rerolls. We have a 10-man Dire Avenger unit for Azerman to join it too. What the fuck? Azerman, I don't remember what his actual leadership ability is. I know he allows the unit to Overwatch for free. Does he give them +1 to hit? That's usually what the Phoenix Lords do, and it's the most boring leadership ability in the game. Oh, he does. Okay, cool. Well, they hit on 2s now, I guess, so that's good. What a time to be alive. But you get free Overwatch, and then the that sort of wombo combos with the Dire Avenger's ability to get enhanced Overwatch. I believe it's a 5-up, and then it progresses to a 4+ when they're on an objective. So I mean, if you want to talk about a list that will beat ACDCs, we're talking about it right here. We're trying to beat them right there. Yeah, so if they're towed onto an objective, they hit on 4s, which is pretty good with a bunch of gunshots, and you can like Blade Storm them too to get some okay AP out of them. We got 2 standard ranger units for additional infiltrates, so we can sort of buy the infiltration in the center of the table. 1 shining spear unit, a little bit of a melee counterpunch there. 2 units of shroud runners, so we can open up space with 20 rangers in the middle of the table, and then follow that up with 6 shroud runners with their scout moves. We also have 2 units of striking scorpions, a swooping hawk unit for Behareth to join into. That's 10 swooping hawks, by the way. Oh my god, this is just nuts. They get a shoot and scoot from Behareth, so the swooping hawks themselves can uppy downy. Obviously, that's like kind of the reason that they're played so often. But then also they get to deep strike, fire, and then move. So they actually start to get kind of appreciable work in on top of Behareth in the list. The downside is that Behareth himself doesn't have the uppy downy. The Phoenix Lords are all kind of built where they can operate independently, but they sort of like want to work together with their Aspect Warrior unit. And obviously there's like an incredible synergy between the two. Whether or not you want to take a unit that's 400 points, yeah, he's 125, 400 points for this unit that, or 300 points, excuse me, 300. That's just mostly firing like AP1 and AP0 gunshots. That's kind of up to you, but clearly it worked out for Matt. Plus unit of warp spiders and triple warwalkers. We're trying to go first with this list. This is like elf jail. We had wolf jail, but this is elf jail. Basically nothing starts in the Eldar deployment zone, right? Because we have 2 striking scorpion units, 2 shroud runner units, 3 warwalkers, and 20 rangers, all of which scout or infiltrate. Okay, we're just gonna shoot you on turn 1, regardless. You're gonna get shot, whether you like it or not. It's happening. ACDC is like it's a cursed cultist dark commune. It's an accursed cultist unit with the attached character. Kind of just an abbreviation for that. Then they blood surge and you die. I think they're dead. It's the difference. Unless they can hide the entire unit off of Blood Surge, which is a little tough for the Accursed Cultist units. Yeah, we'll get into Sam Pope's list momentarily, chat. Yeah, for sure. We'll dive into his Tyranids. I'm kind of excited to talk about that list, because I think I played against it the last time that Sam and I played. So, yeah, this list is wild. I'm super interested. I guess like the interesting thing is that it feels like it's super duper pushing towards this kind of low AP, high volume shooting. But the thing about Eldar is that always ends up working better than it seems like it should, because they just have they have all these floating rerolls. They have the Shroud Runners. The thing we have to remember about the Shroud Runners is they're giving lethal hits to 2 separate targets. The Swooping Hawks already have lethal hits. And so all of these other little units that have direct fire shooting are also going to be benefiting from those lethal hits. So we have like Rangers with the 2 damage long rifles that you're firing 20 shots, with a couple of rerolls baked in there, and those are all lethal. The Dire Avengers are firing lethal hits as well. So you can actually stack up pretty appreciable damage. Plus, I think this list probably scores super heavily, and it also just sort of pins you in your deployment zone a lot of times. So there's going to be a lot of situations where it just prevents you from moving for most of the game, and then they could kind of scores out from there. This list is wild. Dude, Matt Laura just he pops off sometimes, man. The dude has the craziest list. I love him. I love him. Mark Hurd was rocking Death Watch according to his list. I don't know if Nova used the updated Agents of the Imperium. It clearly didn't, because we're running Black Spear Task Force, so this list is probably outdated, unfortunately. We got a couple of additional big results out of Death Watch before they get legended in real life. Goodbye, Death Watch. But Mark Hurdle's giving them the good old college try. And then I guess before we move off, we'll talk about some Tau, and then we'll talk about some Tyranids. Riley Morris over here with a Mont'ka. Double Conjure Fireblades, one with Exemplar, so he gets his ability for an extra turn. Conjure Fireblade, Darkstrider, Ethereal. 2 Breacher teams for the guys to go into. Two Devilfish, 3 Hammerhead Gunships, a Pathfinder team. The interesting thing about them is that oftentimes you don't attach Darkstrider to them, so that he can play just as like a backline objective holder. But sometimes you do. It's cool that you always have the opportunity. Triple Piranha, triple Riptide Battlesuit, triple Stealth Battlesuit. Pretty standard stuff, to be honest. I don't know if there's too much exciting to talk about that. This is basically just like T'au good stuff, I guess. It's all Ion Cannon, Hammerhead Gunships to get those lethal hits. A bunch of forward operators. So we have the Pathfinders that have that good forward operation, and then the Piranhas also scouts to take up table space in the middle. You can potentially also block people off with the Stealth Battlesuits. They infiltrate. Downside is that you also want the Stealth Battlesuits to actually guide for people because they give them the rerolls. But in a pinch, you do have a lot of infiltration blocking. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty normal. Derek beat him 100 to 18. He couldn't peel even one AC/DC brick with Death Watch. I guess that's interesting. I assume that's who we're talking about, right? Oh, T'au. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that follows. If you don't open them up to the Breacher teams, and I guess actually it's Mont'ka Breachers, not Kalyan Breachers. So they're good early, but they're not even that good at clearing infantry because they're only shooting 38 times or whatever. I feel like you could do enough damage to them with the Breachers, but it's all 1 damage, I guess, so they blanket with the Feel No Pain. Yeah, no, I could see that being problematic. That makes sense. I'll buy that, chat. The other thing too is that the guidance mechanic, even like irrespective of the Cursed Cultist list, the guidance mechanic is really trash against the like MSU, right? Because you can't guide and reliably kill 10 dudes. So, like, there's all this stuff, right? You have to deal with these Accursed Cultists. They're pushing at you. But if you can't, then all these Traitor Guardsmen are just scoring infinite numbers of points behind them. And T'au have no way to, like, profitably remove these units. Because as soon as they... In order for them to, like, reliably kill 10, then they're committing more points than 70 or whatever, you know, however many the Cultist unit they're shooting at is worth. And if you split, then suddenly you kill... You don't kill the first one, and you do basically nothing to the second one because you get the downside of splitting fire with guidance. So that feels like even worse for T'au. I think you'd have to just like all like windmill slam, like YOLO swag into a million fucking Breachers if you wanted to play that, or maybe like I don't know, Fire Knife teams probably okay in that situation. Feels bad though. I don't know. Definitely seems like it's a problem for the faction, which used to be funny because I feel like for a time T'au was really good at clipping out infantry because they just had a trillion burst cannons. But those are the days of T'au being high volume versus high impact is I think long past. Everyone thinks they kill AC/DC until they face a list. Yeah, I mean, it's like... It's not just killing them, right? It's a lot of times you kill the first one and maybe you kill the second one, but you run out of steam on the third one. But the other thing is killing them and not just getting like pushed out of scenario. Because I do think a lot of armies can kill them, but I don't know if a lot of armies can kill them and still win, right? That's the question. You know, if you just like chill and like kite them for a long time, you're probably okay. And there are probably some factions you just like clip them in melee. If you just like have a million power fist attacks or whatever. But whether you do that and then also not just get pushed out by like a trillion OC, or I guess the cultists are all OC1, right? So they don't have like the insane OC, but there's a million of them, and they're like locking all the objectives. Feels like it would be difficult. The ancient aggressor technology. It's back. We've come full circle. See, this is the problem, chat. We had a solid gold solution to this a whole ass year ago. Over a year now. We've been in 10th edition for like 14 months or whatever. On release, we just had a 10-man desolation squad. Bring it back. Bring that back, the 10-man desolators, GW. What could possibly go wrong? The unit just vaporized every infantry model on the table instantly. Oh, what's this? A bunch of infantry? No, it's gone. I've killed it all. Immediately, take like 45 saves. And half of them are 2 damage. Blammo. The Trader Guard are OC2, are they? Okay, well, I stand corrected. I know that the cultists are only 1. I guess it would make sense that the Trader Guardsmen are better at holding objectives than the other guys. Yeah, you're right. OC2. Look at that! Cool. Very nice. Good call out, chat. With the indirect nerfs, maybe it could work. Except, so the weird thing about that unit is that the indirect fire nerfs didn't do anything to it, because you're never rolling to hit them anyway. You're rolling for fire discipline. So you were just fishing for 5-ups regardless. It didn't matter what your actual dice result was. It was a 5 or you didn't care about it. So you actually only lose a very small sliver of efficiency. And with the new indirect fire rules from the old version. And that unit's like basically unchanged, I think. That one very specifically is like the one indirect fire unit that didn't actually really care about that change. Yeah, that unit was so dumb. But it was funny to I don't know. It was funny. I think we were having a discussion about this. It might have been on Twitch, but like Genestealer Cult was a real problem at the beginning of the edition. But you had units like that would just immediately kill them. Like a Desolation Squad could sometimes kill 2 units of Genestealer Cultists in one shot, which was just fucking insanity. Probably unacceptable. Probably an unacceptable amount of damage, but. It was funny that they had these outlets for these like huge 20-plus man units. I guess they're 21, right? In the Accursed Cultists. And they're certainly not as good at killing Accursed Cultists as they are like Genestealer Cultists, but you also don't have to do as much damage. And you also get to do it. You don't care about their Blood Surge because they can't hide with it because they're shooting indirect at them. Impossible. Get wrecked. That's a long time ago, chat. I'm reminiscing about the insane meta pick that was Ultramarines. All right, let's talk about Tyranids, chat. Let's dive into Sam Pope's Synaptic Nexus over here. That's what he's running. No one has been able to clear his bricks against Blood Angels. That's so shocking. I wonder if Tyranids would do it, speaking of Tyranids. The Nero Tyrant Zoanthrope brick, which we did not play in this list, is kind of a nightmare for that, I imagine, actually. Although, I don't know if Tyranids do so well against the Blood Surge. Because they can't, like, body block you, because you'll just engage them. So, I don't know, maybe that's a problem. But they do have exactly 1 million D3 damage blast shots. So, this is a Synaptic Nexus. Hive Tyrant and a Nero Tyrant are the only 2 characters. Synaptic Control on the Hive Tyrant, so he's -1 damage. Nero Tyrant gets the Super Flamer. That Super Flamer is so rad, too, by the way. Strength 6 AP2 is ignore cover. Is like, ooh. Makes that Nero Tyrant feel real good. He's already okay. You're never sad about taking a Nero Tyrant, but it makes him feel pretty solid. And you almost want to take multiple Neurotyrants, to be honest. I always want to play a very defensive Neurotyrant to be my Warlord, so I can use the, or to be my, -1 leadership dude. But then if you have a second one to back it up, if you lose him too early before you Shadow of Chaos, fucking Shadow in the Warp. I've been playing Demons too much yet. Before you Shadow in the Warp, then it's not the end of the world. But it always feels like your Neurotyrant has to screen before like turn 3 when you Shadow. We have 10 Hormagaunts in the battle line, triple Exocrine, Lictor, a Neurolictor, double Tyrannifex, double Norn Emissary, Windmill, Slam. We have said, excuse me, sir, I will not be unable to kill a big vehicle anymore. I'm taking 2 Rupture Cannons, and I'm taking 2 Norn Emissaries to be super tough to kill. Norn Emissaries are a little interesting right now. They do get their Feel No Pain against Psychic Attack, or against Mortal Wounds back, excuse me, which is it's good against Devastating Damage, and there's a lot of Devastating Damage running around right now. So they actually have a little bit of play into Thousand Suns, because they're legitimately difficult for Thousand Suns to kill. They're sitting on a 4+ invuln backed up by a Feel No Pain or a 4+ Feel No Pain against their Devastating. So it's not like they will not die, but they will take so much effort to kill that Tyranids actually don't really lose that much like sort of table presence. They basically like take the army's effort to knock down usually. And then Exocrines are also really good in that matchup, because if you're playing sort of mass Rubric Marines, Exocrines just pick up an entire brick of Rubric Marines in one go, if you get a little lucky there. And the Norn Emissaries are randomly psychic weapons, so you're kind of like you can actually you can Melta through Magnus's -1 damage, and that eats a lot of the resources. If he ends up playing too aggressively, you can actually like sort of put a lot of potential psychic damage into him, which is awkward for him. Pretty interesting stuff, champ. We're just playing a gun line. We're playing a big bug. It's the bug line. We're back to old bug line stuff. Vanguard melee warriors do a ton of work. That's also true. Do they do enough? They also do it in melee, so they don't have to worry as much. They don't have to worry about blood surge, which is a big deal. Do they do enough damage? You have, how many wounds does the unit have? It has it's 1828 on the cultists, and then you have like 4 idiots before the character has to take damage. So you have like basically 20, you have like 31 wounds basically, right? That you have to get through. So I don't think the warrior unit doesn't actually kill them, but it does get a lot of the way there. Because I think it usually, if you're battle shocking them, you hand them like, I don't know, like 40 something saves, and they pass like 50% of those. So you probably eat them for like 20 odd damage. If you got other stuff going in on at the same time going into them, that probably gets them. But I don't think they kill it by themselves. Yeah, not counting the character. The character's like worthless once the unit's dead. But you have to get through all the torments. The torments are the real problem, right? Because they're the 2 damage melee weapons. And they'll take them on the mutants first, and then they'll take them on the little bodyguard guys, like the Blessed Blades and the Witch, and then they'll finally take them on the torments last, if they care about it. Plan to do a similar list as Sam's. They couldn't clear them off. Yeah, this is so. I think that's the downside, right? I think Tyranids can sort of build into killing the big hordes, right? They might be one of the better factions in the game at killing hordes. Not in Synaptic Nexus. Synaptic Nexus is about like sort of tanking damage, and being a weirdo, being a weird reroll-y guy. But Invasion Fleet sort of traditionally just kind of like rips large numbers of models off the table, because you can combo together like high volume blast weapons with sustained hits. So you just get, the numbers go crazy, dude. You start to like do appreciable impact into like Accursed Cultist units with like barb gaunts and stuff, and it gets a little crazy. So there is I think, yeah, I don't know. You'd have to build for it. But that might be, you know, sort of to the point earlier that it's tough to do that in a metagame where also everyone else is running armored stuff. And especially Tyranids, where you have to play a list like this if you want to break armor ever, because their anti-tank is so trash. And then a list like this obviously has basically the same problem that the Tau list does, right? Where it has a really tough time splitting fire to clear hordes really easily. Very little in the list actually kills like 10 guardsmen efficiently. And that's actually an interesting thing about 10th edition, I think, generally, is that 10 like random infantry models is actually kind of difficult to remove, especially if they have a 5+ save. They're always in cover, so they're a 4+ save. If you are high volume, your AP is probably not that great, so maybe you're sitting on AP 1. So you have to shoot 15 wounds onto them to actually remove those 10. And that's very difficult to do. That's actually extremely hard. So like just a bunch of little idiot, like a little stupid units is actually very difficult to kill. And if that's all you care about is your guys living, then it actually gets kind of problematic for a lot of armies. Malor played Max Barb Guns into Derek and AC on got blown out? Yeah, I don't know about that. I think the kicker is the Zoanthrope units, but I think the Barb Guns help. I also think that list was a little bit of a meme. That was literally only Barb Guns, basically, right? It was like Barb Guns and Gene Stealers. I was like, okay. Alright, man. I don't think that the Chaos Cult list is literally unbeatable, though. I think that there are answers. I don't think that there's it's like actually impossible to stop. I think it's a strong meta pick right now. Chaos is interesting because I think a lot of times they do have like so many varied archetypes that oftentimes they do end up kind of like pivoting into something that's really good in the meta. That's happened a lot of times over the like sort of history of 40k. There's been these random Chaos lists that are like very esoteric that ended up doing super well for a while. Yeah, very hard in the meta for sure. All right, what else should we look at, chat? Got a little Blood Angels, but they are going to be out of date momentarily, so it's really not super worth looking at. We can talk about some Necrons. A couple of Necrons in the top cut here. So the way, just to edificate people, the way that Nova uses the kind of US Open system. So you play 4 rounds, or I guess 5 in this case. They played 9. I thought they played 8. Yeah, it's 9. You play 5 games, and then for the last 4 games, you get cut into a bracket of 16. So all the players in here were either undefeated or close to it by the time they get to that top 16 cut. Once the cut occurs, you're good. You're locked in that within that bracket of 16. So you can neither lose placing, you can lose all your other games and you're still locked into the 16th place, or you can but you also can't, for example, if you're one of these players, unfortunately, you can't gain placing it either. So as soon as you are in that bracket, you're there for life. It's a pretty controversial format. I actually don't think it's very good, but it is what it is. We already talked about TJ's list, chat. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that again. We will dive into Necrons next, though, yeah. This is wild signals because you can't account for it and any of the top armies very well. Yeah, it's a skew, right? That's just how it goes. All right, so let's dive into some Necrons. We got an Obeisance Phalanx in the top. Chat! Oh my god! That's sick. Alright, super cool. rocking a spider, a big spooter. Anything is better than battle points. Yeah, just battle point placing. I mean, I think battle point placing is okay. Like, to be frank, I think that agonizing over the final placing metrics is like kind of whatever. As long as you have a capacity I think that like agonizing over the tiebreaker for people on the same number of wins is sort of a waste of time, right? Every single like ranking format is the best one, or is the worst one except for all the other ones. You know what I mean? But the thing that I don't like about it is that if you do miss a game early, right? If you're Stephen Henry over here, it doesn't matter what your other results are. You can never break the top 16, and that's like kind of trash. You know what I mean? Like the dude played 9 rounds of 40k and went 8-1, and it was not rewarded for it. Essentially, he got beat out by somebody who went 5-4. And to be fair, these games are probably at least marginally tougher than some of these games. You know what I mean? Because you're bracketed in with some of the best people in the sort of the meta of the event. But I think at the level, whether you're fighting the number 16th place or the number 22nd place, I don't know if that is going to make a huge difference, right? There are some fucking insane players in this top here, right? Take opponent win percentage all day? Yeah, strength of schedule is fine. Path to victory is fine, I think. But I think, like, my point is that I think people who have the same number of wins should be ranked next to each other, you know what I mean? And I think it's really trash that it sucks to be a person who's fighting for the tops, for like a high placement. Whether or not, you're like, oh, I went 7-1, and I was mad that my placement was, instead of being 4th, I was 8th. You're like, okay, man, whatever, dude. But if you're 7-1 and you're 19th versus somebody who went, I don't know, 5-2 and didn't even play out the event, okay, that kind of makes the final placements kind of makes them kind of irrelevant, to be honest. That's my point. I think that agonizing over the exact tiebreakers is kind of whatever. I don't really care that much. I don't think that there is a correct answer for what is the best tiebreaker system, but I do think that it should be win based, in my opinion. All right, we're rocking Silent King. We're rocking Death Marks, Flayed Ones, triple Locust Destroyers, Ophidian Destroyers, and triple Tesseract Vaults. So, I guess I am not well versed enough in Obeisance Phalanx to identify what the synergy is between Tesseract Vaults and the detachment, because they're not keyworded, right? So you don't get any of the benefits. And the same with the Silent King, right? In fact, I think there are literally no... Are they Triarchs or something? That would be weird. Maybe I'm a silly goose. Let's look it up. Let's find out together. I guess they could be Triarch? Nope. Huh. Is there a stratagem that I'm missing? There are specific anti-synergies. I guess -1 damage? Are we just slamming -1 damage? That's all we're doing? I guess that's good. Very hard to kill. 4-up save with -1 damage. I wouldn't want to move them around the table. That seems difficult and annoying without being able to teleport. Maybe what does the terrain look like at Nova? Is it very low? Can you move their big silly walls around really easily? Literally only a -1 damage strat? Yeah, the terrain must have been very short. That's insane. This is a list created by a madman. I guess like it's probably the U.S. Open terrain, right? Which is like usually uses a lot of those little orc walls. Let's see if we can find a picture. The one downside of like Facebook not really being used very much that often is that used to be where all the pictures would go. Everyone would post their pictures to their Facebook group, and not so much anymore. They did post a TikTok about it, so that's good. Oh, was it JD's terrain? Was it away games? Was JD right doing support for this? I cannot tell from the TikTok. Although that stuff I think is tall enough that you have to parkour it with a Tesseract vault, if I remember correctly. I think his walls are tall enough to do that. Yeah, I'm striking out here, chat. The train was wide open. They didn't know when to mention away games. Yeah, it just looks like he was in the video, but maybe I'm looking at someone else. Okay. Yeah, I imagine it's just like the regular ass, like US Open, like little tiny baby walls, right? The little 40k ruins. That's insane. I mean, kudos to identifying, or I guess, you know, whether you're identifying or just taking advantage of a favorable terrain system. Either way, that's probably pretty good. No second floor ruins. Oh, he did it intentionally for the map pack? Insane. Okay, fair enough. Well, you know, pretty good. Seems fine. He just slap. What are they, like OC? They're OC8, right? Tesseract. You slap some OC8 idiots. They're impossible to kill on an objective. Call it a day. See, this is why we need the psychic phase back, chat. This is why. This wouldn't be a problem. If we could cast Super Smite, they'd be gone, and we wouldn't have to worry about that. I like it, though. It's cool. It's certainly a different list. Well, I guess we have a Gloom Prism, too. A little technology. Anti Thousand Suns technology in there, too. So they're -1 damage and have a Fiona Pain against psychic attacks. It's actually sick. That's really good sort of counter tech. I wonder, is that... I guess it probably doesn't, like... beat the Accursed Cultist units, but you could definitely ×0 the little character in there if you get line of sight. You gotta play super cagey with their character, because otherwise they're just gonna die. But it's tough to do that with the precision. Yeah, that seems good. That's cool. That list is cool. All right, man. Necrons, stop having so much interesting list variety. That was Stephen Page. We have another one, Max Burlov. This one is Canoptek Court. No Hypercrypt in the top 16. It's all Obeisance Phalanx and Hypercrypt and Canoptek Court. That's all right. Wow, wild. This list looks like a blast from the past. Catan Shot of the Nightbringer, Catan Shot of the Void Dragon, Immortals, Doomstalker, Wraiths, Destroyers. Easy. It's ancient technology, as befits a Necron army. Ancient technology from the days of yore has unearthed a list from 6 months ago, and it's still doing good. You know, there you go, chat. Just keep at it. Just keep rocking the same list. I guess also we have the Chronomancer, Warlord Chronomancer, and an Immortal unit. So he's actually probably super difficult to stop getting secondaries too, or getting secret missions too. So not only are you good sort of like sort of mucking with primary over the course of the game, but you can also secret pretty well also. Oh, I guess he doesn't deep strike, so it's not that hard. Right? It's not that easy. But he is fast enough to like maybe get War of Attrition. I guess it's a little bit more awkward. All right, what else we got, chat? Philip Carman with some Imperial Knights in the top 16. Ooh. Rocking. So, we were on old Assassin rules. Rocking a million Armigers. Canis Rex and just the Atropos. Plus triple Helvrin, triple Warglaive. Calidus, Everscar, and a Wardsman unit. I kind of, this is an interesting list because, so first of all, we got rid of Bondsmans, right? The Atropos has like a really mediocre one. It's plus 1 to wound against monsters and vehicles, I want to say. But maybe I'm a silly goose. And so I guess that one is good. Reroll hits and wounds against monsters, or against Titanic and Towering. Ha! Get wrecked! Big Tesseract vaults. Got him. But I think that we have the Mysterious Guardian on the Atropos itself, which I think is always worth inclusion because just the flexibility is so insane, right? Just forcing your opponent to screen against an Imperial Knights list is huge. It pulls so much of the like front line, and a lot of their trash that would normally be boo blocking you ends up having to prevent the Mysterious Guardian redeploy. But then I think that oftentimes the Atropos ends up kind of out of position in the middle of the table, and taking a more dedicated range platform with the Mysterious Guardian, I think ends up kind of underperforming, right? Because we've seen the Castellan, we've seen Crusaders occasionally with that Mysterious Guardian, and I kind of just like it on the Atropos itself. Plus, it's like, if you just deep strike it and like rapid ingress in a funny position, it's good in melee, so it can kind of just windmill slam a flank if you're putting into reserve to begin with. And then you are making good use of the Laylo the Tyrant rerolls on the mass Armigers too. And I think that there is, we were just talking about it in a stream game over the weekend too, there's a definitely use case for max Helvrins or sort of multiple Helvrins to answer specifically Magnus the Red. Because it forces Magnus to play hyper cagey, because if he ever shows his face, unlike most of this weapon profile, where he can kind of like tank it and just be fine, the Armiger Helvrins will straight up kill him if if you play too aggressively with him. So you have to start to play super cagey. Thousand Sons are really good against Knights to begin with. They're just super good at killing them. But Knights are also good at killing like Rubric Marines. So if you're forced to play Magnus farther back and you're instead putting more emphasis on your rubrics and stuff, then I think that gives Knights the best chance to win that matchup too. That's a tough one, generally speaking, though. Not getting tied up needlessly, that makes sense too. Although, I guess the Atropos is less worried about that too, right? Because it can just punch its way out against most targets. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it is awkward when you see like the Castellan or the Crusader get engaged and they're just like, take 2 AP2, and you're like, okay, or 2 AP1, 2 damage. You're okay. You killed a Space Marine. Good job. Proud of you, buddy. All right, I think that puts us into the top 32 here. See if we have any interesting picks. Drew Saltspawn, local hero. Hail Tempered Fireblade if he's in the chat. Rocking it at 23rd place with Leagues of Votann. Appraising Glare Einhir Champion. Plus a call with Grim Demeanor. That's an interesting allocation of those effects. Does Appraising Glare require you to use the ability, or can he do that in transports? I guess he's probably in the 10-man Hearthguard unit, so he's probably just in reserve, I would imagine. There are triple Hecaton land fortresses, but it doesn't really look like anything's in them. I think they're just hanging out. Oh, there's Brokir Thunderkin. Just kidding. So we're putting Brokir Thunderkin inside. So that's fine. And then not a single Sagittor, it looks like. Just a double Hernkin Pioneers and Jaegers to, like, clear the midboard. We're not really scouting too much, but we are just trundling forward with the Hecaton land fortresses and then counterattacking whatever can kill them with the Unhear Hearthguard. Pretty classic, to be honest. It is kind of nice to see the non-mass scout variety of of Votann that just tries to go first and then like beat its opponent into submission. Dan Legion, thanks for the kind words, man. Astra Militarum. Oh man, double Astra Militarum right in a row. Robert Moreland over here, rocking some good old fashioned combined regiment. Just went best in faction for guard. Well, I think you did it, so good job. It works in transport or in reserves, yeah. So that's been such an interesting, I would say, sort of a rubber band that the community's done on abilities like that, because I think it was the general consensus for I would say at the beginning of the edition, at least based on everyone I talked to, that all your abilities sort of deactivated when you were in a transport, but that's definitely not what it says. It just says you can't do anything, which means I think active abilities that say that you have to make a conscious decision to use them is what it actually affects. Yeah, so it would definitely work in a transport because you just choose an objective. I think it's anything. I think the intention of the rule and the letter of the law is that anything that says use this ability does not work in a transport, because that model is then doing a thing. But you can certainly affect stuff. You just can't be affected yourself. Any Chaos Knights? Not that I've seen so far. Chaos Knights seem like they're having a little bit of a tough time right now, to be honest. So not too many Chaos Knights. Let's see. We got, this list. Rocking Gonskos, Lords of Leontes, Tempestus Command Squad, a Platoon Command Squad, Regimental Engine Seer. Is there a super heavy in this list, chat? If the terrain is open, we might be feeling it. 15 Bulgrin, double Leman Russ Exterminator, Stormsword. There it is. There it is. Plus a Rattling Sniper unit. Very good infiltrating unit. Probably underplayed, to be honest. They're a little awkward because they just instantly die. So they're not actually that useful once the infiltration stage has arisen. But they get a shoot and scoot, or a shoot and scarper, I should say. That's what that's their ability. And they forward operate, which is awesome. So there's just a really good utility in it. For 60 points, I think they're kind of underplayed. Plus, they have I believe the Imperium sniper profile, which for whatever reason is just strictly better than everyone else's snipers, because theirs are AP2. So they have a 3+ ballistic skill AP2. They're not regiment awkwardly, they're auxilious, so you can't order them to get to 2+ ballistic skill. But just having a unit of dudes to run around is cool. It's funny that they are lower toughness value than Gretchen, though, because Gretchen are T3, right? Nurglings are T3, which is like shocking to me every time I look at them. Oh, also T2, just kidding. I guess T2 with an asterisk. So I guess they're the Imperium equivalent of Gretchen, which is thematically appropriate, I guess. But yeah, stealth infiltrators that have a shoot and scoot is sick. Underplayed unit, I would say. You know, it's going to get real when you see the Tech Priest. I know, it's so funny. Every time, it's like, the regimental agencies are there, and you're like, oh? We get a super heavy? It is interesting, too, because, like, I wonder... The invulnerable save must... It's good against AP 4+, I guess, right? But almost any other weapon profile is not even that useful. But having a heal is already good. But the question is whether or not you'd rather the heal or the Trojan support vehicle. Because they're exclusive abilities. And I think part of the problem is that the Trojan support vehicle just kind of gets in the way and is annoying and also can die. Whereas the Engine Seer is low and operative, so he's much harder to get rid of. And the invulnerable save probably keeps the super heavy going for another turn against enemies that have specifically the shots to kill you. I guess it's good against Meltas. That's important. Let's see. Scott Horace. We're rocking a Cadian command squad. Gonskos, Let's Leontis. Tank commander. Oh, excuse me. Oh. And Cadian shock troopers. Kirov's Aquila on the Cadian command squad. And it is just one command squad, so it's probably where Lord Solar is living. But Kirov's Aquila gives them Lord of Deceit. So you kind of want to play that dude far forward. Which I guess is really interesting in like the late game. Because you also sort of want to get Lord Solar stuck in on round like 4+. Because he ends up being kind of a badass in melee. But you also really want to be using their Master Box. Otherwise, he has a tough time issuing his orders. Triple Cadian Shock Troopers, double Chimera. So for the other two Cadian Shock Troopers. A Khazarkan unit, Bulgaren Squad, triple Rogal Dorn Battle Tanks, double Scout Sentinels. Bro, these lists are they go so hard, dude. Heavy metal, let's go. Rogal Dorns, man. What a profile. Sick. Very straightforward. All right, fair enough. Just got a bunch of idiots to hold down objectives, and we're just instead of taking one super heavy, we took 3 mini super heavies. So many sisters, yeah, that's fair. Interestingly, though, how many sisters got top 32 here? 3? That's shocking. What has happened to this faction? Shit. And only 2 of them were top 16. How many Thousand Suns are here? Like, I feel like 1,000. Oh, I guess 4. All right, well. Those 2 factions are at least comparable, right? I didn't think sisters are better, but they definitely are on the same level. Drukhari here from Zach Point. This is Prospero from in the server, by the way. Who I just had the pleasure of playing against the other day, actually. Who's rocking some Drukhari. Archon, and a Nightmare Shroud Archon, and a Spiteful Raider Archon to get some delicious pain tokens. Triple Kabalite Warrior units. Double Raider, double Venom. A Court of the Archon. Oh, triple Court of the Archon. What is this? Did this man just say, you know what I super don't need? Fucking Incubi. Look at these trash ass Incubi. Who needs that? Full rerolls and Lance with 2 damage weapon. Fucking get out of here. You know what we're taking? Courts of the Archon, bro. They do have 1,000,000 attacks, and they're super hard to kill because they give you the bodyguard effect, the -1 to be wounded effect, which is kind of sweet. Double Kronos, a Ravager, 1 Reaver Jetbike unit for utility, triple Scourges. Looks like 2 Dark Ants units and a Haywire unit, plus a Tantalus. We're doing the Tantalus combo with them as well. Let's go. This list is insane. What the fuck? So the Court of the Archon can double join. So they can double up with the Kabalite Warriors. So you can take the Court plus the heavy weapon team out of the Kabalites. You split the 5-man of the Kabalites into the Venom, and then you put the other half with the Court of the Archon into a Raider. So literally all of these Kabalite Warriors are in transports, because 1 is a full 10 in the Tantalus, 2 are 5s and split between the Raiders and the Venoms. Sisters got downloaded, yeah. Also, if the terrain was kind of light, I could also see that being bad for sisters. Although, I don't know if that is bad. Sisters are actually really good at shooting. But if you can just, like, shoot back at them, it's also pretty good. If they can't use their mobility to, like, fuck with you as much, then that's definitely different. This is insane. Triple Court of the Archon chat. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Anything else? I think everything else is pretty rote, right? There are a couple Blood Angels. There's some Black Templars. Sasha Alexander Edelkraut is still on his Sons of Dorn stuff. And a Gladius Task Force. Interesting. Got Apothecary Biologus, the Fire Discipline. Oh, this is just a regular Space Marine list. Oh, no, there are Crusaders. Just kidding. Are we on... Are we... yeah, it's just Primaris Crusaders. A Captain with a Power Fist. A Gravis Captain with Artificer Armor. A Gravis Captain? Did we do the full boat? A Judiciar with Honor Vehement. Assault Intercessor Squad. Double Assault Intercessor Squads for the 2 captains to jump into. Double Crusader Squads. No, this are, yeah. It's just 5-man Crusader Squads with multi-meltas. It's like crazy that this data sheet still exists, by the way. I guess they haven't had a supplement yet. We have to wait till the supplement comes in. 2 10-man Primaris Crusaders. 2 Impulsors. Triple Assault Jump Pack Intercessors. 2 Eradicator Squads. It's 2 6-mans. What is happening? Plus a Calidus Assassin. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, you want another unit that's going to kill a Cursed Cultist, chat? It's these fucking guys. They're going to be like, hey, I'm going to do Sustained Hits. Sustained and Lethal. Sustained and Lethal. 5-up criticals. With 100 attacks. And then just delete them. Make them go away. Make them get out of here. Just guns everywhere? Yeah. Double Eradicator Squads. So, did we put the Captain in one? And the Biologus in the other one? Because you don't really need to Stormify them so much on the Eradicators because their AP is already so high. That's fascinating. That's so interesting. I'm so curious about that. It's been so long since we've seen a Gravis Captain on the table, dude. He's so expensive. Hearthguard destroy a Cursed Cultist. Oh, when they get sustained too, with like multi-damage weapons. Yeah. Also, I guess they have the blast weapons too, right? So you probably you almost certainly like kill. You know, I don't want to say the whole unit, but you do like 1 trillion damage with the gunshot, and then if you get to melee, you're also just like a bunch of 2 damage attacks too. On Deb Doctrine on for the Fire Support Squad? Oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that tracks. And then we just have another unit that you can throw away out of reserve, probably. Yeah, we were doing the math earlier with... I guess you can sustain the gunshot, right? So you can... You're probably on... You're on 2s into 3s with sustain 2, so you... net like 80 hits. It's like 70 saves, and you're trying to get through 35 wounds. Yeah, you probably actually just kill him with a gun if you strat him. Hearthguard and TTS are so much fun. Hearthguard on the table are a headache. What's the difference? Why are they different on TTS? I did play against them the other day, and they made every single saving throw imaginable. They made like 80% of their 4-ups for half the turn. Oh, just rolling dice? Yeah. I think that there's a lot of people just let you use the dice roller for that. That's what, I don't know, that's what I used to do for... Anytime I was like above 20 dice, I was like, no, I'm just gonna tap my phone and tell you how much damage to take. Until people got, some people got mad at me for it. I don't know. It was a whole thing. 120 dice is your thing. Just roll it up. That does sound very cathartic, to be honest. And I guess like Votann's probably one of those armies that he's they have so many like random little attacks. They actually probably chip out the big units because they don't really care about split firing. You know, you're firing like a bunch of Hernkin Pioneers and stuff. Like they'll actually kill 10 Guardsmen without like really running into that problem. These are also units that'll deal with the Guardsman problem, right? Like Assault Intercessors will just go in and like clear 10 idiots all day long. And if they don't get killed by plasma guns on the crackback, they'll just do it again the next turn. Now, I don't do interviews anymore, chat. I used to do interviews with like top placers with like cool lists, and then it was just a huge waste of time. Nobody watched them. So I was like, well, oh well. Sucks to suck, I guess. But if people want content, then they should watch it. All right, chats. Somebody was asking about a different event earlier, and I did not see... I don't remember which one. So if you are still in the chat, let me know. I missed it, I think. I can't find it now. So we can track that one down if we want to take a peek. Half Lotus, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's tough because, like, I don't know. It's hard to find a, you know, a kind of content like that. It's not only like, isn't awkward to, like, annoying to make, but also has casts a wide net. And we were just sort of talking about that earlier. It definitely feels like, I think people are burned on 10th at this point. I've seen, not only speaking personally, but also kind of across other content creators, especially content creators in like the competitive 40k space. It has seemed like things have dropped off quite a bit. Like I don't know how much I don't know if that's the case for other channels, but it seems like it's a little bit of a doldrums right now, and especially because we're going into October. Like YouTube starts to kind of go insane in Q4 of a year, and I don't know. It seems like it's not a very good place for 40k currently in that ecosystem. Yeah, there's a lot of people who just like don't actually care about the competitive format, right? I think there's I don't know, this is kind of I don't know if this is the right format for this conversation, but I think there is an upper cap on the community for competitive 40k content. And I definitely don't think I'm going to be somebody who like reaches every person, right? I would say I'm probably only relevant to about half the people who play 40k competitively. And that's already a very small group of people. So, like, you know, how and then also of that subset, people have to actually enjoy that style of video, and it gets very tiny. How many people play? But yeah, just paint models play twice a year. Yeah, it's funny. So my best Armies in 40k video from yesterday, I don't want to say it was a bunch of people, but it was an above average number of people who are commenting like, "Who cares about this? Why? Like, remember when 40k was just about having fun? Who cares about what factions are winning and stuff?" I'm like, well, a lot of people do. At least there's probably at least like 50 or 60,000 active people in the competitive 40k community. And it's hard to, because everyone's like kind of split right now between different formats, it's hard to pin down a number, but it's like, it's in the high 5 digits. And I'm like, well, I don't know. It feels kind of, inappropriate to just write all those people off. Oh, I like playing narrative games, so nobody should care about this content. I'm like, okay, man, calm down. Maybe get off your high horse there, my guy. When's the next balanced data site? Is probably end of the month. We're probably in for another month of this format before we get the sort of quarter season update or whatever. Yeah, it's weird because I don't know. I think it was maybe because of the just like an SEO thing. That video specifically, like talked about Chaos Cult in the title, and I think that might have like pushed it to people who are looking for like more lore focused content, like lore oriented content, who are like, oh, like I wonder if it's getting recommended off of a video that like is talking about Chaos Cults in the 41st Imperium or something, or for the 41st Millennium. And then those people get moved over to this fucking competitive, this like sweaty competitive video, which was probably not good. That nobody watched that video, which was not amazing. So I don't know. Yeah, Inky's coming in my comment section. Should we dive into some other GTs or some majors, chat? La Vaz de Horus. Kind of a lot of Space Marines in the top 4 cut there. I missed that Alvaro Perez was 7-1. I thought he was undefeated. A little awkward to lose out in the top cut to somebody who has a loss in the record. Oops. Ripperonis. I did talk about this list already, though. Blood Angels are kind of outdated. We have the little Dark Angels here. Kind of normal Gladius Task Force stuff, I guess. Deathwing Knights, Eradicator, Infiltrator, Repulsor. Yeah, it's like, oh, there's double Vindicators. It's interesting. It's mostly the Dark Angels list, though. I guess it's also a little bit sad that like most of these lists are very rote, right? It feels like the meta's kind of solved right now. I don't know if there's that much interesting happening. I might go back to doing instead of like holistic meta reviews, just talking about individual lists that did well. I liked doing those videos, but it also felt like a lot of conjecture, and I think that it's probably more interesting content than, than talking about the Adeptus, the bringers of the flame, Adeptus Sororitas army that won every event. Maybe I'll do that next week. We'll see if interesting stuff win. We've got an orc list, a big war horde. Thank you, China, for supporting me. We're getting some China cast going on. Is that what's going on here? Double beast boss, double war boss, mega armor war boss with follow me for the extra speed. 2 beast naga boys units for the beast bosses to hop into. 2 trucks, 2 flash kits, 2 Gretchen squads, double kill rig. Here's a little observation, chat. Let's see if I can find this model. I was playing, so my next retrospective for the Tyrannosaurus channel is going to be on Final Liberation. And here's, I shit you not, here is an epic 40k, an epic 40k miniature that really exists. Look at this thing. This is fucking insane. This is the Weird Boy Tower. It's a kooky wizard's tower that weird boys used to live in. And it's just the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life. But if kill rigs are not the spiritual successor to the Weird Boy Wizard's Tower, I don't know what they are. I don't have any beliefs anymore if that's not the case. Because it's a guy who stands on top of a tower and who casts spells at people. And the fact that the tower is being pulled by a giant squig versus being wheeled along by a Hot Wheels car, I feel like is inconsequential. But I would hazard a guess that the design of the kill rig was not was inspired, at least in some small part, by the old epic 40k silly wizard tower. Final Liberation is the greatest 40k game of all time. Half Lotus Music. You may disagree with my takes in my retrospective. I'm on playthrough number 2 right now. And it is better the second time you play, I think, because you know all the mechanics. It's much faster. It gets much faster once you're like an unreasonable amount of time into that game. But oh my god, does that game It's, I don't know. I'll make an hour and a half long video about it, and then you can hear all my thoughts about fucking Final Liberation. Oh my god. Ooh. We got some knobs for the war bosses to jump into. Double storm bodies for utility as well in this list. Mega knobs too. So mega knobs, are they just deep striking, or I guess are they just hanging out? Oh, do we have a? Are the trucks able to? They're able to carry 6 mega knob guys, right? I think they can. But they're also probably carrying the knobs. I guess one truck can carry double knobs, and then you can put the mega knobs in them. Nothing beats Dawn of War 1. I also have thoughts about Dawn of War 1. I think Dawn of War 1 was like before my time, and my first introduction to the series was Dawn of War 2, and I think that colored my opinions quite a bit. Yeah. Double Drukhari, doing well over here. Oh, we got some Chaos Demons, though. Yes! Let's go. Let's go! We have learned, chat, that you can put emojis into BCP. My BCP name, by the way, is, I guess we're not going to go into account my account information on stream, but my BCP name is Trevi and a little tiny tortoise emoji, which I love. And I guess we've figured it out. That is a metagame that I would appreciate Best Coast pairings via unlocking is the emojis in your list name metagame. We got a great unclean one. Horticulous Slimex. Bro! Alright, we're already off to the races. Slimex is fucking bizarre. What a weird character. He's a big mounted guy. He actually hits kind of hard, but also when he touches a terrain feature, he turns it into Shadow Chaos. So he can spread your Shadow Chaos all around the table, especially sort of around your deployment zone. He essentially can extend it, like 6 inches out of your deployment zone because he can create the terrain features that are near your deployment zone into a Shadow extension. So he's like Be'lakor from Wish, basically. Be'lakor can do it wherever he is. Horticulous does it wherever he is if it's a terrain feature, and also if it's like Tuesday and the moon is in waxing gibbous or whatever. Should check out Mike Pastelin's Nova list. We'll take a look after this. It's also got Double Keeper of Secrets, one with Soul Stealer, and Rodigus. A trillion Nurglings. I actually love this. The Nurglings are they're such an idiot in the middle of the table. These guys just like, you gum up the works for forever, and they're hard to get rid of. They get the Feel No Pains, I guess, yeah, from the Great Unclean one, so they're like not the easiest thing in the world to kill. They have 1,000,000 wounds for a 6-man unit. Double Plague Bearers because they're incredible. 2 Beasts of Nurgle for Horticulous Slimex to jump into because he leads Beasts of Nurgle units. He gives them free heroic intervention, I believe. Let's take a look at Horticulus's data sheet momentarily here. Horticulous Slimex. What a name. What a character name, chat. Incredible. Yeah, so this dude is a tank. He's T10. He has a 3+ armor save. Actually, I don't know if I ever realized that. Is he the only demon character that has a stronger armor save than he does Invulnerable? I was under the impression that that did not exist. But maybe it does. Whoa. And it's on a Nurgle model. What? Okay. Is that a typo? Is that real? I'm so curious now. Now I must know. Gotta get my data sheets out, chat. Horticulous Slimex. Where you at, you big idiot? Nope, not you. All the characters. Huh. Look at that. This guy's got a 3+ armor save. What? Why? Is he snail? I guess he has his snail. I guess that makes sense. If it's a snail, it should probably be heavily armored. It's weird that the snail has heavier armor than like the brass armor of corn or whatever. That's wild. The Corn Rhino dudes have a 3+? No, they're a 4+. I know that one for sure because I played 18 of them for a video. Slamix seems a bit redundant with the Grand and Clean ones around. I mean, maybe. The Guos like want to be in specific positions. Slamix lets you just like sort of chill in your like do stuff in an additional position. He also I think just like fits the theme too, right? He might just be memeing a little bit. Yeah, but he's got impressive melee attacks, lethal hits, strength 6 AP2 3 damage for himself. Plus he gets a devastating strength 7 AP4 3 damage from the snail. It dissolves you, it gloops you. And then end of your movement phase if he's within an area terrain feature until the end of the battle, it becomes Shadow Chaos, which is very cute. The other thing too is that that I think is worth mentioning is that the Shadow of Chaos is not like exclusive. So you're not like, oh, if I'm holding within 6 inches of Great Unclean One, I'm in Shadow if I'm Nurgle, or if I'm in Horticulus's Garden terrain feature, then I'm in Shadow. The Shadow extends. So if you have a terrain feature that's touching your objective, that's touching your deployment zone, that then is also within 6 inches of a Great Unclean One, the Shadow is contiguous between them. So you can actually get these like weird situations. I did this on stream the other day where I had a character near my deployment zone but not in it, and then strung coherency between a unit I was setting up within Shadow between them. And so you can create these weird instances where large units, like 6 Nurglings, for example, can set up in bizarre positions because you have so many smaller instances of Shadow of Chaos around the table, and you can string between them, essentially. All of those are within Shadow, and you just have to be wholly within the entirety of that area. Which actually makes it... Which means that more Shadow auras are actually kind of like synergistic with each other. It also works if you're like locking objectives with the Chaos Corrupt Real Space strat and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, the snail's pretty... Yeah, he slaps. He's only 2 attacks at weapon skill 4, though, which is the downside. You get reroll charges in a once per game 0 CP heroic intervention. And then he's also just like super tough to kill. OC2 as well, because he's a mounted guy. He's on a weird oval base, though, which is a little bit awkward. But that unit also is like just super tough to kill, right? Like, it's already hard enough to kill a single Beast of Nurgle. But you're having to kill 2 and Slimix, right? So if they're holding down an objective, it's just not going anywhere. Because any Beast of Nurgle that doesn't die is going to regenerate wounds at the end of each phase. And then if you can't kill both of them at T9, even if you can kill both of them at T9 in a single phase, or at least one phase per beast, then you also still have to kill Horticulus Slimix as well to actually take that table space. It's a super difficult unit to kill. I think it's like 260 points, though. It's a lot, because he's 120, yeah. But I think we're just tanking this list. We're just surviving for a million years. It's very like a Nurgle and green pilled, I guess. What's up, kitty cat? All right, we wanted to look at Mike Pestilence list. Please do not scratch my chair, cat. I will disown you. Mike Pestilence list from the thing. He was in bracket 2, it looks like. Oh, excuse me. Be'lakor, Keeper of Secrets, Great Unclean One. Oh, he's got the flail. I started taking a knife on my Great Unclean One. I'm not sure if I'm sold yet. I actually, have I used it yet? I don't know if I have, actually. I think I literally died every time. But he died hard. Mask of Slaanesh to give the -1 to wound. Nurglings, Plague Bearers. 3 Fiends. Interesting. Double Skull Cannon. Triple Soul Grinder of Slaanesh. I know the Soul Grinders of Slaanesh are actually like kind of baller. They also get that the AP bonus in melee from the Keeper Secrets, which is cool. The Fiends are interesting. Yeah, I'm in on the. I think I'm in on the knife, and there's a part of me that's in on the knife for the Lord of Change too, but I don't know if I'm like ready to make that to get rid of the Rod of Sorcery. But that AP1 Rod of Sorcery is fucking so bad. AP1 might as well just go fuck itself in this edition. It's so trash. If you're not AP1 ignore cover, you might as well go home. Or if the Rod benefited from his sustained hits, then I think I would keep it. But it's just like, ugh. It just makes me go, ugh. The Fiends are interesting. Move 12, 4 wounds, or 4 wounds apiece. 5 attacks, strength 5, AP2, 2 damage, devastating. It's good against Space Marine profiles for sure. And then you're -1 to be hit in melee, and you're -1 to desperate escape away from them. I guess you're just like 32 points a model for this is not too bad. They're kind of like the weirdest heavy infantry in the game. I don't know if I understand what the what this stuff is, but this little sort of meta commentary going on the side here. You battle shock with the cannons, and then you attack with the stratagem to reroll. What if they pass the battle shock check from the cannons, though? Also, if that's the combo, why are we doing it in melee? Why don't we shoot him with a gun? Get wound rolls with the gun. Yeah, I think that the cannons are kind of like, they're like Seeker Chariots, but they get a gun for 30 points. The mounted demon stuff is actually kind of sick. It dodges all the annoying keywords, right? They're not monster, they're not vehicle, so anti stuff doesn't work against them, and they don't give up bring it down. But they're as hard to kill as like a lot of monsters and vehicles. So they're just really obnoxious units. That's why it's 2. Yeah, just make them. They'll fail the second one. It's fine. Don't worry. I mean, I understand. That's like I don't know. It's kind of a weird anti-synergy. If you're trying to devastate with the Fiends, then like you don't need +1 AP. It would be nice if they applied a battle shock penalty. That'd be cool. But I don't know if I've ever actually seen someone make use of the reroll wounds with the Draught of Terror, because it's so inconsistent. I guess the Skull Cannon is like one of the few outlets you have for it, because there's very few other ways to force Battle Shock out of sequence in the Demons. The Soul Grinders are sweet. Did Nova require that they mounted on bases? That was never FAQ'd, right? I don't think so. Also, they never got updated. Their scuttling mechanic never got updated, I don't believe. So it still works. It still checks the total height of your terrain feature. I should probably play Soul Grinders at some point, chat. I just don't want to ever put the model on the table, man. It feels like I would just get mad. They have a good gun. Their gun rules. They're good gun and good melee, but like, man, it feels just maneuvering them around just feels so miserable. If their weapons were assault, maybe, because you could advance and charge, but like, I don't know. Blech. Right, but the stratagem to get reroll wounds gives you +1 AP. So if you're rerolling for devastating, like, I don't know, it's not like bad. It's one of those little like weird efficiency losses where you're rerolling with a unit that doesn't really benefit from the +1 AP that much, if that's the idea. Not that there's really anywhere else to go. Fit around Bellicor and the Lord of Skulls and the Keeper of Secrets. Yeah, I guess that's if you don't have the bases on them. I think that's. I don't know if that's like 100% kind of the intention there is totally guaranteed, because there's a note in the assembly guide that says you can assemble them like with or without bases, but assembly guides are never actually game mechanics, and if a unit comes to the base, you have to use it, right? So like, I don't know, maybe GW, maybe we make a base guide to tell us whether or not our things require bases. That would be nice, because like, I don't know, there's just like you win some, you lose some with the Soul Grinder on a base, because you have to pay for pivoting at that point, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass to move around. But also the base is enormous, so it makes it super easy to like body block. It's just bad all around. Just make a better game. It's so stupid. I know, Kitty. Very annoying. All right, chats. How we feeling? Do we have any other lists we want to look at? This list is wild. It's kind of cute. I would feel dirty, I think, running Soul Grinders though, especially if I was like using the physicality of the model to my advantage. I don't know. I would feel like that would probably be getting one over my opponent. If I was running them unbased. Probably why I've never actually played them. The amount of weird inconsistencies in these things, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely like a mandate from somewhere that's preventing this kind of stuff from being resolved. Because I have to imagine that they change basing so often. I think they would be like, well, if we like locked in basing for a unit, we could never change it like randomly for no reason. And it would like start to alienate people who have based like on previous versions of the bases. Not like, despite the fact that first of all, that's the rule, you have to be on the current base size, and also they started legending things, which I feel like, and removing datasheets from the game, which I feel like is probably worse than changing a base size of a unit. Inky is so insistent right now. This little cat. Base Soul Grinders are unusable? Yeah, but like, are they supposed to be unusable? Like, there's a lot of models in the game that are unusable because of the physicality of their models. If you look at a model and you're like, oh man, these stats are so good, it would be so much better if its base size was different. I'm just gonna put it on a different base size. Like, I don't know. That feels weird. Even if there's an argument to be made that it's not supposed to be based. I don't know. Yeah. It's just bizarre because the base size is like so important to gameplay, and it's just a weird thing to like just never incorporate into like data sheets or anything. Maybe they don't want to. I don't know why they wouldn't just release a document with the current base size of everything. Like, just put it on the download section of the game. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I don't know. I don't get it, chat. I don't understand. Why does the community have to do it? Yeah. So there is a rule. There is a part of the assembly guide that says that they're based for fantasy but not 40k. But the problem is, but like, assembly guides are never actual rules content, right? So that's like where the weird question mark comes in. Like, if we start playing by assembly guides, like, do I start to get like the weird assembly guide stats for my termagants? Probably not. That's not how the game works. Imagine pivot moves and base size will be part of datasheets in 11th. Yeah, I mean, that's what we thought base size would be part of datasheets in 9th, but here we are in 10th edition still wondering what a base is. I don't know, chits. Been getting into War Machine lately. Yeah, War Machine is the gold standard for actual like base size and line of sight mechanics. If you ever wonder why I hate 3 line of sight so much, it's because I spent so long playing War Machine. Just put your Bloodthirster on a 40 mil. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's whatever base it comes with, right? So the weird part is like a Soul Grinder comes with a base, but there's like an implication that you don't have to use it. Which I guess is like, what if I don't use the base for my Bloodthirster? Does it hull measure now? I don't know. Like, if I don't have to use the base for my models, why would I? I'll just use hull measurement rules for like a bunch of stuff. What if you just put a Gladiator on the table without a base? Does that change anything? Probably not. What if you put a, I don't know, stupid shit. I hate it. Can you keep your old arcs on 28 mils? On 25s? No. So like generally, the general consensus and the rules that the rules of the game state that you have to use the base your model's packaged with. The interpretation of that rule by the community is that you have to use the currently packaged base size. But the problem is that that's no, if it's not written on gamesworkshop.com, it's not codified anywhere officially. So like there are community organized and community retained base size guides. WTC probably has the best one because they keep it updated more often. I think ITC has one too, but I think it's really old. And that's generally speaking the what you should be basing on. If your Bloodthirster had an S or spare 40 mil in the packaging, the worst part is like, yeah. So what if you have like Canis Rex and you put Canis Rex on the 25, and then you put Sir Hector on the like 120? You're like, I don't know which I was supposed to use. Or like, oh, my Canis Rex came with a 25 mil base, so I imagine both him and Sir Hector are supposed to be in 25s. Then your Canis Rex is just like sliding through gaps and stuff. He like moves through doors in walls. Bikes came with cavalry bases, putting on nobles. Oh, like old square cavalry? Yeah, that's classic. Ancient history, those bases are. I think there is still, or at least there was for a time, there was a let's see. There was a square base still in 40k. Let's see if they got rid of it. Oh, I think they did. It was the old Catachin Sniper. I think he's gone. I think he's just part of the command squad now. I think he's gone, chat. Look at this fucking guy. This little ghillie suited goober over here. Hey, that guy survived. I think that was recent that kit got discontinued. That guy survived for a really long time. That model sucks, by the way. Fucking trash ass model. Lying down miniatures are just never a good idea. I understand that going prone is an important maneuver tactically in warfare, but it looks bad on the tabletop. Make your guys kneeling or make them nothing. That's my opinion. Still have those? I think. Oh, was there a Pathfinder who did that too? Oh, now I found the. I looked up prone Pathfinder and found all the prone rules for Pathfinder 2nd edition. I think there was a rail rifle Pathfinder that was prone. Oh, there was. I have found him. I can't find a good picture of it, though. This one is cool. This is a cool little mod. Cool little base for that guy. He's up on a rock. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, that guy was on a square base, too. That Really annoying. I think I had one of these dudes, and I think I might literally never have put him. I might never have assembled him. I definitely had the metal rail rifle Pathfinders, and I think I just left this guy in my bits box. I was like, fuck it, he looks bad. We're not doing it. Not today. You ever see the Nurgling Guo on the 130? I used to have a Ripper Carnifex. I gave him Carnifex weapons, and I put him on a huge rock, but he was a tiny Ripper. I don't know. I just googled Nurgling Guo. I don't know if I've seen exactly what you're referring to. All right, chat. I think we are going to go ahead and wrap things up there. I got to pack away all this this computer equipment for the trip over. So that's what's about to be going down. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming and hanging out with me. At the end of the stream here, you're going to be redirected over to the Enter the Crucible stream event. Please click the little notify me button on that one so you get notified on Friday when we go live. I'm going to be over there Thursday evening through Monday down in beautiful Orlando, Florida. And I'm psyched. I got a bunch of new equipment for it. Hopefully it improves the how the stream looks. But yeah, I'll see everybody over there. Thanks everyone for chilling with me today. We're gonna try. I'm gonna cross my fingers pretty aggressively. I'm gonna try to be live on Twitch tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I have a new laptop that I got for working on the road because I'm going to be between this event and a couple of other events that are coming up. I'm going to be on the road for live streaming quite a bit, so I have a new laptop so I can do videos and stuff while I'm out. Theoretically, it's tough. It's a tough cookie, and it's going to be powerful enough to stream. Whether or not I have good enough internet to stream is the question mark, and if I have the time to do it as well. So hopefully, I will be live tomorrow. We'll see over on Twitch. Thank you, Nightwatch, for the Twitch follow, by the way. You can go follow Nightwatch over there on twitch.tv/TacticalTortoise. I think I'll be live. We'll find out. Otherwise, I'll see you on Friday for the Enter the Crucible GT. Thanks, everyone, for chilling. And I'll see you in the next one. Keep it classy, folks. Have happy wargaming. And also stay tuned for some videos. I got a bunch of videos cranked out for this week as well to go live while I'm traveling. So those will be up over the next couple days. So cheers, everyone. And I'll talk to you later.